A great scientist, Isaac Newton, once said that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That means that for every single thing that we do, there's a consequence. That then leads to my next question. Why, and why? Often this question is answered very late because we rush to answer the questions what and how. In life, we rarely let what is important govern our decisions. What is important isn't what we're doing or how we do it, but instead, why we're doing it. If we are driven by the reason why we do different things, then we cease to be like everyone else because we have a central core of mission and purpose that propels us to greater heights. Have you ever seen somebody do something but lack the heart for it? We too may be guilty of this. Every day we do different things like go to school, play a particular sport, or maybe even hang out with a specific group of people. But at any one time, if you walked up to someone and asked them why they were doing so, you'd be surprised because some would take time to come up with an answer, while others wouldn't give you an answer at all. How ironic, because one would think that each and every individual would be driven by the reason why they do things. Many a times, especially in Africa, the girl child is told that specific jobs are for the boy child, and the boy child is told that specific jobs are for the girl child. This is extremely barbaric, and is what is leading to Africa lacking passionate employees in every field from medicine to sports. For instance, if a young lady in a village in the outskirts of Abuja said that she wanted to become an engineer, her parents would rubbish that idea and tell her to focus on something like culinary studies so that she could become a caterer. However, this isn't her passion, and her parents, as well as society, telling her to do so, are only doing this because of culture, but are not genuinely thinking of why they're limiting her, or why she wants to become an engineer. If they opened up their minds to these questions, then they would realize that they're being unreasonable, and that this young lady has a great dream and ambition that shouldn't be crushed, but allowed to flourish. On the other hand, if a young man in a village in the outskirts of Lilongwe said that he wanted to become a fashion designer, his dad would tell him to leave that job for the woman and focus on something like aviation, a man's job. This is ironic considering that some of the world's best fashion designers are men. Thomas Hilfiger, Christian Louboutin, Jimmy Choo, and the list goes on. Africa's future needs passionate career people, and this can only happen if we ask ourselves why first and let that govern what we do or say and how we achieve. Money and riches. Everyone wants to be rich, but do people understand that there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy? Being rich is having great possessions, while being wealthy is having a great deal of assets or resources, and wealth is usually passed on from generation to generation. So now ask yourselves again, do you want to be rich or do you want to be wealthy? Some people want to be rich so that they can wear Patek Philippe, drive the G63 AMG, or maybe even live in a mansion. But is this really why you want to be rich? Will these things get you out of bed in the morning, motivate you to go to school or work, push you to work hard, and achieve your goal of wealth? If so, then by all means, go ahead. Others want to be wealthy so that they leave a legacy for their children and their grandchildren to follow. Whatever motivates you and answers this specific why question for you, don't think twice. Let it push you. This why concept doesn't only apply to us as individuals, but also to companies. Have you ever watched an Apple commercial? It's clearly different from its competitors. One of their ads went like this. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? And people buy these computers. People are also very comfortable buying iPods, iPads, and iPhones, regardless of their prices. This proves that people don't buy what you're doing or how you're doing it. Instead, they buy why. For instance, if a company is able to answer the why question first, then they gain a competitive advantage because they share their core mission and belief with the consumers, and that makes them willing to pay more for the products. This line of thought is what will shape Africa's future. There are so many young entrepreneurs in schools, not only in Nairobi, but also in Brazzaville, Johannesburg, and many other cities in African nations. If all of them ask themselves why first, and let that decide what they did or said and how they did it, then they would come up with inventions never thought possible, and they would make the present-day business environment even more dynamic. Thank you.